It was one of the big questions ahead of matchday 28. Would the 100th matchup Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund finally live up to its billing and become a Klassiker? The question is an emphatic no. Bayern Munich trashed their title competitors Borussia Dortmund on Saturday night at the Allianz Arena, walking away with a 5-0 victory thanks to goals by Mats Hummels, 10, Robert Lewandowski, 15, 89, Javi Martinez, 41, and Serge Gnabry, 43. In truth, this game was over after the first 45 minutes, in which Dortmund was never able to withstand Bayern's pressure. Perhaps things would have worked out differently had Mahmoud Dahoud, who surprisingly got the nod instead of Mario Götze, had scored when he was completely open in Bayern's box in the 6th minute. Dahoud's shot, however, hit the far post, and 4 minutes later Bayern would start their demolition job. Furthermore, to make matters worse, 2 of the scorers were former Dortmund players. Former Dortmund defender Hummels opened the scoring, and former Borussia striker Lewandowski became the first foreigner to score 200 goals in the Bundesliga. Overall, it was a demonstration of strength by Bayern. We played a great game over 90 minutes. That was impressive. I'm proud of the team, Bayern head coach Niko Kovac said after the game. The Berlin-born Croatian head coach had been under fire by many Bayern fans and pundits throughout the season. A mini-crisis in the fall and a devastating defeat to Liverpool in the Champions League has meant that there has been plenty of doubt about the future of the head coach. Flames of doubt that received further fuel on Wednesday when Bayern were brought to the brink of being eliminated from the DFB Pokal by Bundesliga 2 side 1.FC Heidenheim. The final result in that game: 5-4 for Bayern after 90 minutes. When you win, you didn't do anything right. When you lose, you did everything wrong. That's the way it is with managers. I'm not a moralist, but that annoys me, Kovac said after the game against Dortmund. Kovac indeed can feel coy about the result against Dortmund. His Bayern side, after all, were ruthless, and the game now officially makes Bayern the title favorites. The Stats side Goal Impact tweeted on Saturday that Bayern now have an 83.2% chance of winning the Bundesliga title. Today's win was fully deserved, but the title race is not over. We have to show the same performance in the next games, Kovac was quick to point out after the game. Kovac is not completely wrong. Bayern, after all, will face a Fortuna Düsseldorf side that had caused them great grief in the fall when forward Dodi Lukebakio managed to score 3 times against the Rekordmeister. Going by the result on the weekend, you would have to be a fool to bet against Bayern to win the title. Dortmund overall have simply been too inconsistent in the second half of the season to bring the title home. The game against Bayern, in fact, had shades of the Tottenham game against Wembley earlier in the spring. Like it was the case on Saturday, Dortmund simply were not able to develop any pressure, and on top of that made childish mistakes in defense. We played a catastrophic game, defended disastrously, and deserved to lose, Dortmund captain Marco Reus admitted after the game. Had we scored the goal, things would have been different. But overall we were not good enough, defender Manuel Akanji said after the game. We went in the game to win it, but with such a performance it is difficult, if we play like this again, otherwise we won't have a chance to win the title, Akanji added. Borussia Dortmund head coach Lucien Favre, in the meantime, had to face criticism over leaving out Mario Götze in the starting 11 and rushing back right back Lukas Piszczek, who struggled against winger Kingsley Coman. After the game, it is always easy to say it was wrong to play without Götze, but I don't know if it would have been better with a different system, Favre said to the press. Favre has the mantra of being a bit of a tinkerer, similar to Claudio Ranieri in Italy. The Swiss head coach gambled away a title in the past when he coached Hertha Berlin back in 2008-09. The club finished 4th in the end. The situation is not entirely comparable, of course, as Favre himself has many times pointed out this season that Dortmund are in a rebuild. But at the same time, results against Werder in the DFB Pokal, Tottenham in the Champions League, and the drop of form in the second half of the season, including this disastrous result against Bayern, highlight that Favre at times can overthink his lineup. Furthermore, despite Dortmund's rebuild, this might be the biggest chance for some time to dislodge Bayern at the top. The Rekordmeister is expected to spend big in the summer and has in fact already invested €115 million by signing defenders Lucas Hernandez and Benjamin Pavard. It was for that reason that many neutrals hoped for a Dortmund victory or at least a close match between Germany's two biggest clubs. Instead, Bayern's demonstration of strength demonstrates the still existing gulf between the two clubs and highlights that der Klassiker, at the moment, is nothing more than a marketing tool used by the league. In fact, the 100th Klassiker, to stay with the terminology, could become somewhat of a marketing disaster should Bayern now run away with the title. The league would once again be labeled as a one-horse race, which would be bad news in upcoming discussions with international television companies looking into broadcasting the league in places like the United States.